campaign that we did for having people driven to our website. Total response rate was 14.2%, and 9.3% of those people completed the questionnaire. Very important to us. We gathered a lot more information on people so that we could market to them effectively later on. Then we broke it down between customers and prospects, and you can see what that was as far as the result. Now, utilizing Google Analytics, we had some information and we looked at the difference as far as what this campaign did for our company between November and December. Now, you have to be a little careful with the total visits because it looks like the total number of visits were down from November to December. Actually, they were up. The reason why they're down here is because a lot of our clients actually go through our website to utilize our print-on-demand web-to-print storefront. And they're coming in from all over the country, so some of those visits, people aren't ordering as much, so that's why the visits were down in December. But as far as the overall campaign, when you look at the new visits, it was up by almost 13%. Look at the page views. They were up tremendously. The number of unique visits went through the roof. And then you look at your direct traffic, referring sites, you do the comparison month after month. And then look at where people were visiting us from. Egypt. So, again, the power of the website and utilizing new tools. Does anybody have any questions so far?
Do you do any business in Russia, Canada, Germany, China, Netherlands, and Australia?
Believe it or not, we do.
Yeah, I would think. Yeah, that's fascinating.
I'm going to show you a little thing here, and Ken actually scanned the QR code earlier. This is kind of getting into the creativeness of utilizing QR codes. I have a client down south, and they market to the bigger evangelical churches all over the country. And they were looking for an idea on how to attract younger people to start coming to church, no matter what their faith was. So we actually did a direct mail piece with this QR code on there because, again, younger people are going to be interested in new technology, so they're going to scan the QR code. And, what can you do to really attract young people to church? Well, it's interesting because this pastor for this church, very energetic. I'm going to play a little video that was on YouTube. And again, this is what linked to that. We're not trying to get the people necessarily to go to his church, but it's just to get people involved in religion more. And this was the goal for our client.
We're just so different. I love that one. I was like, really? You're different? Hey, this is like a duh moment. Of course you're different. You're a man. She's a woman. She's beautiful. You're not. You're different. She gets pedicures. You don't. And if you do, you should repent before a holy and awesome God. It's ridiculous. She takes baths with bubbles and smelly stuff and candles and music. You get in the shower, you scratch. You go, you do that thing. She doesn't. I found this. I wanted to read it. It's called "Are Computers Male or Female?" It highlights the differences between men and women. The professor broke up a class. He put the men on this side, he put the women on this side. He said to the men, "Tell me the reasons you think computers are female." He told the language they use to communicate with to other computers is incomprehensible to everyone else. And that's true. Because some of you women after church tonight are going to be having a conversation, or a lot of you are going, I was at the and I saw and did you And see, y'all understand that. And they're like, what? Huh? And three. Number three, even your smallest mistakes are stored in long-term memory for later retrieval. I just read. Number four, as soon as you make a commitment to one, you find yourself spending half your paycheck on accessories. Female students said, computers are male because number one, they have a lot of data but are still clueless. Number two, they are supposed to help you solve your problem, but half the time they are the problem. Number three, as soon as you commit to one, you realize that if you would have waited a little longer, you could have gotten a better model.
What was that?
True.
Easy to turn them on.
As you commit to one, you realize that if you would have waited a little longer, you could have gotten a better model. And number four, in order to get their attention, you have to turn them on.
He looks so innocent. He does.
So, again, talk about being creative with what you can do. It's a funny little clip, not really talking about anything religious, but it's getting the point across that, there's a lot that you can learn by going to church. And again, it was just a campaign that we did for this, and it was very, very successful. Yes?
Back up, what did they get with that QR code?
It was actually a direct mail piece and an email. So it went out based on their database that we received. Again, they're like everyone else. There's a certain percentage of their list they didn't have email addresses on, and a certain percentage that they did, there's a percentage out of that they might not be completely accurate. So
when people scan the QR code, what do they get?
it went right to the YouTube.
Okay, thank you.
Yes?
If you email a QR code, do you need a smartphone to read it, or can you just click it to get to the other internet-based location?
You can. You can't click on a QR code. You have to scan it. But again, what I did there was I just put a shortcut, and you could do that on an email. But again, the whole idea with the QR codes is, if they're at home and or if they get this card and they take it somewhere, they can scan the QR code. They don't have to be in front of a computer.
If you're already in front of the computer, it just seems strange to pull out your smartphone.
And you don't have to. Again, in this case, we also did a link for the email so that they didn't have to utilize the QR code for just that reason. Yes?